Hello, my friends, and welcome to Cathy Chat. You know, on Cathy Chat, that I love highlighting and spotlighting superstars. And today, this is a superstar times a gazillion. I am so excited to introduce you, if you don't know her yet, Phyllis Arnstein. Phyllis, thank you for saying yes to Cathy Chat. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
It sounds like you had a fantastic day yesterday, as a matter of fact. Living in Florida must be a blast all the time.
Oh yeah, and especially during March when you get to eat your way through a strawberry festival. Strawberry everything.
That is very fun. A strawberry festival in Florida, it doesn't get much better than that, I'm thinking. I am so excited that we got to connect today on Cathy Chat, and I got to meet you a couple years ago, actually, through the Happy Neighborhood Project. And now you are a co-host with Midwest Women, and that is super fun. And I have just watched your growth on that particular platform and certainly within your company. And now you've got lots of things going on in your world. I'd love for you to share that with all of our listeners today.
All right. Well, as Kathy said, I am Phyllis Arnstein and I do live in Florida. I live just north of Tampa. I am a native Floridian. I was born and raised in Tampa, so I really didn't go far, except for the one time that I did go to where Kathy lives, but couldn't handle snow and ice. So back to Florida, what can you say? And I'm so excited because I'm one of those that you hear about from everybody who walked away from a corporate job. I don't advocate doing it my way because I walked away without a plan B. Always have a plan B. But you know what? Life will help you. Okay. And I turned it over to God and I said, I don't have plan B. You better figure this one out because I can't. And we owned a restaurant at the time. And so my neighbor introduced me to the world of networking. And I fell in love with networking. And through networking, though, I met a gentleman who introduced me to natural health through a company called Market America. And so I sat down with them and I said, okay, here's how life works. I have never heard of a direct marketing company. I don't know what residual income is. I don't know nothing. But if you're willing to teach me, I'm willing to learn because I'm not going back to work for somebody. Well, thank goodness, almost 9 years ago, he taught me what I needed to know. And I tell everybody, I was kind of slow at first. We owned a restaurant, so I was trying to incorporate two things and everything. But then and I did the natural health part. My brother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And that's what really made me learn about our products because the VA had him on so many drugs. And he died 35 days after he was diagnosed. And I said, you know what, Phyllis, you are being too quiet about what you have in your hands. And so I dove into learning. Within about 3 years ago, we incorporated a new service, and it's called our software program that helps you with your debt. And I kept saying, no, I'm not learning something new. You must be crazy. And so they just kept at me. So finally, about a year and a half ago, I met with Jessica and I saw the program and I went, oh my gosh, this is just mind blowing. And so I said, again, I'm the one that always got to dive into learning about it and learning and learning. So I started taking her classes. And for the last year and a half, I have learned so much, not just about how our program works, but how to work with people. Because debt is really something people just don't like to talk about. They don't like to admit. But when you think of debt, there really are two kinds, good and bad. Okay, so people are like, nothing's good on debt. But everybody has a mortgage. They have car payments, credit cards, student loan debt. You bought a boat, you bought an RV, you bought something. So we show you, though, through our software system, it's like we call it a GPS. Your car's GPS, it tells you where to go and how to get there. Our software tells you how to go and how to get there with your debt. So with this software, it's all about math, timing, and algorithms. You cannot beat that. And so we show you how you take your current active debt, you pay it off in a third to a half of the time using no extra money. It works with just the money you have. And we've worked sometimes with people as low as $25. And so the program will take your debt. It also takes your expenses. How much do you spend every month? Because a lot of people, they don't realize that. Back when I was little and you got that $20 bill, you're like, I'm never going to break my $20 bill. I want to keep my 20. If I break it, I'm going to spend it, right? Nowadays, though, people swipe with their debit card, their credit card. They don't have a relationship anymore with their dollar. So we teach you how to get that relationship back. And we do a deep dive, like I said, into your debt, into your expenses. Then the software will take all that information and what comes up with your discretionary income. So, for instance, You buy a house for 30 years, 4.5% interest, a $200,000 home. You think my interest is 4.5%, but it really isn't. If you look at your original paperwork way down at the very, very bottom in little teeny tiny print, and it's the bank's term, they have a thing called TIP, total interest percentage. So that $200,000 home, you pay on it for 30 years. You just paid $364,000 at a rate of 82%, not 4.5. So again, so not only do we show you how to pay off your debt, but we educate you. We educate you on how to get that relationship back. And we have sometimes people who they're a little bit upside down, and the software, if you're $1,000 or $1,500, upside down every month, the software doesn't work with you. But my partner and I do. We when we dive into your expenses, we make suggestions. We never tell you what you got to get rid of, because you don't get rid of nothing. We don't put you on a Roman noodle diet, but we will make the suggestions, and we will educate you on your money, how to get that relationship back. My own personal story, I never paid the bills. My husband always did. I knew what they were, but I wasn't going to pay them. I wouldn't even get the mail. And one day he's like, "You don't stop and get the mail." No, I don't pay the bills. I said, my new rule: he who pays the bills gets the mail. Why should I get the mail, right? But he got very ill, and I got thrown into having to do everything, and I couldn't budget. I'm like, I don't get it. How come I don't have money left over? So I reached out to Jessica, and we had refinanced our home. It was an emotional decision, which most of the time, some of your debt is emotional. So, we're 55 years old, starting over with a, 30-year mortgage. So this program has our debt paid off in 7 years, and we're saving $49,000 in interest. And you know what? I budget every month now. I have money left over. I have a savings account. We're going places. We're able to do things now. It's wonderful because I got that relationship back. So again, we educate you. We teach you, we train you, we show you how it works. And I always want to tell the story of my dear friend, 50 years old like me, 30-year mortgage starting over, $20,000 in credit card debt, 2 car payments. Her debt is paid off in 7.2 years. She's saving over $100,000 in interest. It goes in your pocket, not the bank's. And we're not anti-bank. We're just anti-paying the bank for 30 years when there's no reason to. And we kind of call this the sleeping giant of a program. So we're working hard to get the word out to everybody. And I got excited because through all of the training and learning and the knowledge, I'm now part of the elite partners that are with the company. And there's only about 8 of us out of 190,000 plus distributors, and I absolutely love it.
Okay, stop. I want you to say that again. For all of our friends listening now or on the replay, I want you to say that again. That you said it way too fast. Let's hear it.
There are 8 distributors throughout all of Market America, and they have, I believe, like 190,000 plus distributors. And I'm one of the 8 that is the elite program here. And I'm so excited for that. Not just because I can now be on my own to do this, but that I did all the training. I learned it. I did this. I'm excited. I also have been on Alignable, working Alignable hard. And I didn't know how to do the contest, but I had this guy reach out and go, "You're going to do the contest." I said, "I am." He goes, "You are." And so I did. I started working the contest.
Wait a second. What is Alignable?
Alignable is a platform. It's not really a social media. It's all small businesses that are on Alignable. It's a totally different platform. And like everything, it has algorithms. Okay. And so when you put the right tags as to what you're looking for a referred partner or to connect with, it takes those algorithms and it matches you with the people that you should be talking to. So I worked the contest. I made a lot of contacts, and the contest was over about 2 weeks ago. And I was so shocked because I was number 42 in the United States. I was in the top 50. And I also won first place for my community of Spring Hill, And I tell everybody it's a lot of work. But if you put the work into it, you get the results out of it. And that's the one thing I have also learned along my way. The results equal the benefits.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. The results equal the benefits. That is cool.
And, a lot of people always say, the fortune's in the follow-up, which it is. But the fortune is also begins with you have to be consistent. You cannot just get on a group or go to an in-person group, hand out your business card, go away, come back to room and say, well, I never got any business. Well, who are you? You didn't show up for 3. It's that no, like, and trust. No, like, and trust. People do business with who they know, who they like, and who they trust. Not really so much the product, it's you, the person.
That's a
It's
very
that,
good point.
it's
Yeah,
that
that really
person.
seriously is a very good point.
Yep. You're doing business with Cathy. You're doing business with me. You're not doing business with our products, you know?
Absolutely.
But I'm going to be with Mark. I never thought either when I left my corporate job, my head really wasn't in the right place. I was just, I tell you about, I was screwed up, because you walked away from a 29-year job. It was not a good place to work anymore. I was stressed to the max. I didn't know what to do. And when I started this, I'm like, oh, what am I doing? But you know what? Next month makes 9 years that I've been with the company. I don't do anything else. I just do this. If you guys are interested and want to learn more about Market America, get a hold of me. Cathy's got my contact information on the banner below. I would love to sit down and talk to you. Our company is very different than a lot of companies out there, but I would love to sit down and chit chat with you, get to know you. You get to know me. And if you live close enough, we'll even go for coffee, which, by the way, is another good thing on Alignable, because you can meet the people that live in your neighborhood. And you can go meet them at a mixer. I've met several for coffee that I figured out, oh my gosh, you only live like 10 minutes from me. Let's go for coffee, So it's just been a wonderful ride these last 9 years. I would never have thought I would make it this far and do what I'm doing, but I absolutely love what I do, and I would never change nothing.
I love that, Phyllis. And one of the things that you have talked about with Market America, with Alignable, is networking. And I know that you also network in person. When you said that your friend introduced you to networking, what did that look like? And did you go in kicking and screaming, or did you go in and, I can do this? Tell us about your networking experience.
Well, the first, when she said, I'm going to introduce you to networking for the restaurant, I'm like, what is networking? And she's like, really? And I'm going, come on, I did aerospace sales. Cathy, what you got going up in space today I can help you with? It's not exactly a networking job, And so, of course, I think everybody's first networking is BNI, and I was,
Right. Yes.
and then she didn't tell me they were going to hand me a microphone where I had to talk in front of 50 people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. But I joined BNI, and I'm glad I did, more so because they taught me that no, like, and trust, no, like, and trust. And then this guy kept talking about this thing called Toastmasters one day. So I asked him, I said, what is Toastmasters? He said, well, we have a meeting tonight. Why don't you come? So I'm like, okay, another networking group. I'll go. And so when I went, I'm going, oh, I so need this. And if you have a fear like I did of talking in front of all those people, I said, Toastmasters teaches you. The one I was in, I loved our slogan. It was, we teach your butterflies to fly in formation. You always have butterflies, but at least they fly in formation. But they teach you how to talk, how to not have all those filler words, how to talk on the spur of the moment. At my in-person group, we do, 10-minute, somebody always has a 10-minute spotlight, and if somebody doesn't show up, I have them come up. Can you do it? Oh, yeah. I know my product. I know my company. I know myself. And so therefore I can get up and on the spur of the moment, I can talk for 10 minutes, and that's what, a lot of it teaches you, not just with the Toastmasters, but just getting out there in front of people. You got to smile. You got to look like you enjoy life. Even if you don't, you have to look like you enjoy life, And I told people in the very beginning, with the way my stress level and everything. And when my husband got sick, people would be like, how are you? Yeah, right. I'm okay. Because you can't say what you can't say that, because people don't really want to know that. You just tell them you're okay. Then when you get to know them and they become your friend, then you can start talking to them a little more about what's wrong in your life. Because again, you never know who you're going to meet. And that is the biggest thing, is you never know. It's not about, when I come to you, Cathy, about my product, I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, Cathy, I want you to do this. No, Cathy, let me explain to you what I do. Let me show you. Who do you know? It's always and it could be the 7th or 8th person down the line of who do you know. JR, who started Market America, was very strong in teaching that. When he started this company, he literally started it in his home in a 1,500 square foot house until they could get big enough, right? But when he first started, was going out and talking to people, there was a gentleman named Dennis Franks who was a football player for, I don't know, one of the teams up north, I don't know, Patriots something. But anyway, he was a seventh who do you know. And then Dennis called him one day and he goes, everybody keeps telling me I got to talk to you. Who are you? What do you do? They met, and then Dennis came into the company. And
Oh
that
my
was,
gosh.
but it was all on who do you know? He kept going down the line. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? It's never about just you. It's always who do you know? This might not be for you, but who do you know? And that's what I've learned both through networking and through our company, because they're huge in training and everything. And you put it all together and you can do wonderful out there networking for your product. You just got to do it the right way. You got to have those relationships. And like Cathy said, one day somebody said, you can't make friends on, Zoom. And I'm like, I beg to differ, Cathy. You and I are great friends. You
Yeah,
can't.
people have said you can't build a relationship on a screen, and I'm like, what? So yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can. Look how many people on HMP that we meet all over the world that you become good. Like Ian. Okay, come on. Ian in Australia, you can't help but love Ian. And then I always plug in Nick Davis because out there, guys, if you network, you got to meet this guy named Nick Davis. He is hilarious. But you know what? He knows his product, but he doesn't talk about his product. It's all getting to know him, And so get out there and network. If you're not networking, get out there and network. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Why else on Thursdays do I get up at 4:30 in the morning and leave at 6 to drive into Tampa for a networking meeting? Because it's fun. It's fun.
Wow.
I
Now,
need
what makes that networking group fun? Because
part of
for
it
you
is
to get
it's
up at that hour is pretty
they
cool.
are a faith-based network group, and I love
Okay.
that. We are Kingdom Business Alliance,
Okay.
and it is all about referrals, and they do make it fun, and I do get the business out of it, or else, yep, I'll be honest, I wouldn't leave at 6 in the morning and drive to Tampa in the dark, but it's just a good group of people. There's about 30 of us. We're not, I kind of consider it a little different, I guess, because it's faith-based. But when you leave there with such a happy heart when you get in your car to drive home and everything, you know? And like I said, my journey has been so many ups and downs, probably the first maybe 4 years. And then when COVID hit, everybody's world was really turned upside down. And I said, okay, now how am I going to meet people? And then and again, it's the who do you know, right? So I met this one guy on a Zoom and he said, look, you need to only go to these groups of Zooms. I'm going to send you, he said, email you a list of networking on Zoom. And I said, okay. And so when he did, he called me, did you get it? And I said, well, yes. I said, you have 100 of them on here. He goes, yeah, but you're only going to do the first 3. Oh, he goes, actually, you're only going to do the first one, which was HMP. He said, you're not going to do any other one, just HMP. And I started doing HMP in South Florida and then kept growing it and looking at the different ones, and then met Cathy, and took her a while. She kept asking for co-hosts for Midwest Ladies. And I'm like, not me, not me. And one day, I don't know why, but out of my mouth went, okay, I'll do it. And I went, you said that, Phyllis? And I've been a co-host, about a year now? And
Yes.
it's so much fun. It is so much fun because we all know, sorry, men, but ladies do different networking than men. So,
That's
and
very true.
we have a blast. We have an absolute blast on it, especially on one night a month on Thursdays when we do our ladies' night out. That was really fun,
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
And
Phyllis, you mentioned honestly that you're in Alignable. You've been at Happy Neighborhood Project. You go to in-person events. You've been to Toastmasters before and certainly BNI. What is your infomercial? Like when you do an Alignable, let's say a Smart Connect, when you do an Alignable Smart Connect, what is your infomercial?
I tell people that I'm with Health to Wealth and that I help you with your health and I help you with your debt. Through the debt, we have a software program that we take your active current debt. We show you how to pay it off in a third to a half the time using no extra money. It works with the money you have because it's all about the math, the timing, and the algorithms. And that's it. And people get really intrigued with algorithms. Yeah, those algorithms, they really do help you. But it's all about timing, math. The program knows the exact day and the exact amount to the penny for you to make a payment on to cancel out that interest. The gentleman who invented it used to be in the mortgages, and he got tired of putting people in debt. So they reverse engineered the algorithms to get people out of debt. Because your banking institutions know those dates, but they're not going to tell you because they want you to pay that interest forever. And guys, let me tell you something. I don't, not to be scary, but if you ever go to usdept clock.org, it tells you in real time what some of the debts are in this country. Credit card debt at $1.3 trillion. $1.3 trillion of credit card debt. Student loan debt is 1.8 trillion. It's just like scary to look at it. And when you're sitting there looking at it, it's real time, and you see that clock is just going around and around and add more numbers and everything. We got to learn how to get that relationship back. Pay off those credit cards. If you have $5,000 on a credit card, which now interest rates are starting to show up at 32 and 34%. So that's for every dollar you pay, a third of it is going to your interest. If you owe 5,000 and you can only afford the minimum, honey, it's going to be 25, 30 years before you pay off that $5,000. At a third interest, how much are you really paying on that $5,000? They tell you, and I know times are hard. I get it, times are hard. But on a credit card, if you can't see in 30 days what you charged, don't put it on your credit card. When you go put groceries on your credit card, you can't see that in 30 days. You go out to dinner, you can't see that in 30 days. If you can't see what you put on a credit card in 30 days, then it should not go on a credit card. That was taught to me many, many years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I said, how true is that? Because, oh, I don't feel like cooking. Except now I think instead of going out to eat, it's, oh, let me do Uber Eats. Okay, so but you bought groceries. So now you're doing Uber Eats. Well, pick one. Okay, you can't have both. Pick one. It's either you're going to cook all that food that you bought for a month and not do Uber Eats, or you're going to do Uber Eats every day for a month and not, go grocery shopping. But when things are tight, you can't afford both. These are some of the education things that we do, in helping people. We had this one gentleman, he took a toll road every day, and we said, stop taking the toll road. How much money? Believe me, I know that. 21 years I drove the toll road to Tampa every day. So yeah, tolls are expensive. You can't afford it. Don't take the toll road. So this is part of that education that we do for you, in helping you out. And I always got to tell my Starbucks story. She was a young lady, and the first thing out of her mouth is, you tell me I can't have my Starbucks, I'm not going to do it. We said, no, we don't tell you can't have anything, but you do have to put it into the budget. So we put $210 in the budget. And she's like, what's that? Well, you told us that you spend $7 a day, 7 days a week, times 30 days is $210 a month you spend on Starbucks. And she was like shocked. Why? Because you swipe. You only think about the moment you swipe. You don't think about daily, monthly. Well, after about 3 weeks, she called us up and she goes, I don't have it on there anymore. And we're like, why not? She goes, I make coffee at home now 7 days a week. I really am spending $210. And that's why I said it's all about that relationship. You got to get the relationship back with your money so you can enjoy your money. I used to have all the money in the world because I worked hard. I had a great corporate job, but I had no time. When I left my corporate job, well, I had plenty of time, but I had no money. Now I have the time and the money. And it's all about building that business of yours, whatever it is. It's all about building it so you can enjoy life. Like yesterday when I got to go be with Dixie at the Strawberry Festival all day long. Poor thing, she's dressed in her bathing suit right now, waiting for the rain to stop to go swimming. I said, it's going to be a long wait, honey. The sky is awful black out there, just saying, But it's all about building that business so you have a relationship with your family, with your friends, with everything. But you know what? It's most important to have fun in life. Life is too short for you to be stressed over a job. Right?
That's so true.
You're the same way I am. You walked away from a corporate job too, going, I'm going to make money because I'm not going back to work for somebody. You're building, when you work for a corporate job, you are building that owner's paycheck, not yours. You're making him rich, not you. I was in sales, right? 2% commission I got. That's a lot of nuts, bolts, and screws that you got to sell on 2% commission, And it finally dawned on me, oh my gosh, I'm doing $3+ million a year in sales, but the owner's getting it all, not me. And that was an eye opener when I finally figured that one out too. I'm like, yeah, no, not going back in the corporate world.
Not gonna do it. Phyllis,
No.
I appreciate this so much. And I know that you have been an inspiration to people out there. How do I network? Where do I go? What do I do? And I feel that for you to be on Cathy Chat, especially with your contact information here, if there's anyone out there listening live, certainly, or on the replay, please connect with Phyllis because she can connect you to networking events. She can connect you to different groups and certainly to her company, Market America. And maybe you could help someone get out of debt. I know student loan debt is a biggie, and I know that you've been very instrumental in helping people in that regard as well. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on Cathy Chat today.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that so much. My friends, the next time you hear Cathy Chat, it's going to be a dynamic opportunity to meet someone else. If you'd like to be on Cathy Chat, just let me know. I am so excited to spotlight and highlight my superstar friends. And Phyllis, I am so thrilled for your success. Thank you for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
Bye now.